almost gave up on her dream of publishing, but her heartbreak, faith, and relentless hope turned into a novel that's changing lives. It's Mercylyn Odibo, author of X-Rays of Little Hope. And this book dives into emotional trauma, spiritual resilience, and second chances in love through the unforgettable journey of a woman named Prue. And we're here to talk about it, right? We're here to talk about navigating this tricky concept, this thing we're in called life or spirituality or happiness or fulfillment, so much more. So Mercylyn, glad to meet you. Glad to be speaking with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Happy to have you. Yeah, and appreciate you too. So what are you all about? What currently has you just so passionate, focused, excited?
Oh, well, for now, I'm pretty excited about my book. That's the most current thing that I'm doing right now. That's the most current thing in my life right now. So it's giving me that kind of kick to know what's coming next. So having achieved this one, I'm looking forward to more, of hopefully. So that's giving me a kick that I was able to do it because kind of was in limbo for a while, just like you said. And I just thought it was never going to happen, but now it did. So that's pretty exciting for me to be able to tell the story and to be able
Yeah,
to voice to people who don't have one.
and I'm curious to hear about that. So you've checked off an item on the life list, right? And so my understanding about you is you're a writer, you're a poet, you're a songwriter, you're an artist, and your mission is to connect, inspire, and share God's grace through every word. And so this book that you're mentioning, X-Rays of Little Hopes, what is it? What's it all about?
So X-Rays of Little Hopes is kind of a connecting point for a lot of people that has hopes. So in other words, it's like people connecting through stories. Like my story might inspire you, whatever you're going through. My story might be that kick that you need, that jump start that you need to move to the next level. Even though we all have struggles, but some stories do inspire. Some stories do help you and motivate you to move from that stagnant position that you are into trying to find your feet or try to find something about your life that's meaningful, even when you thought it was all over. So that was how I came about that title, Extras of Little Hope, because everybody has hope, and the only anchor some people have is just having that little, no matter how tiny, that tiny hope that they can hold on to at least if they have a dream, once they have that hope, they know that's gonna come through someday. So that's what motivated me to telling this story about hope and talking about different stories about different people uh coming together at some points in their lives. They never knew each other before, but somehow their stories were able to bring about the connectivity, and then they had a bond that was unbreakable. So but that's not to say that's the main character. The story does revolve around a specific character which you already mentioned, which is Prue. And like you already said, it's a love story, it's a lot of things. Um, so that's where I would stop for now. I don't know if you.
Okay, wonderful. So you're saying that if you've lost hope, you need that extra guidance, direction, discipline, motivation, read this book. It's more than a love story. It's a novel that explores the beauty of imperfect people walking a path of faith, strength, and truth. And so what's the plot? Well, I mean, who is Prue and what does she go through?
So Prue was my protagonist. She was the main character of the book, and the story that I built around her was that kind of a reverting story, like a comeback story, where she had a lot of betrayal from people or from specific persons that she really had confidence and trust in, and she loved with all her heart. And her life as a whole was just something that resonates with the society today, because a lot of people always have a dream, and the patience to acquire that dream is once they are told no, so it becomes like oh, I'm done, or where is my time? Everybody has had that question asked, when will my time come? They got to that point of desperation, where will my time come? And these were the things that built around her mind, her soul, and she was just so engrossed into getting a specific thing done, which was to get married. And she was throwing caution into the wind. She wasn't uh, trying to look at people's character to know if this is okay for me or not, or if this suits my kind of lifestyle. She just wanted to be married. So that was the first mistake she did. And then moving from there, when she eventually got married, and she just was so blindsided by all the red flags that were thrown at her. She wasn't looking at the red flags because she was so engrossed into in the love portion of this whole situation. And even when she was seeing it right there, like a lot of people are blinded by so many things. They just go by, just they use their mind rather than their head. So she had lost her head at that time, at that point. That's how I would say. And when she got into this situation where she was struck, like struck with disappointment, struck with the shock was so immense and so intense that she just thought her life was over, and she found herself alone. She had nobody. She had been deserted, and now she got to that point where she thought it was all over. So it's like falling from a very high pedestal to nothing. So she hit rock bottom. She had nobody in this world, so she had to find herself, and she didn't do it. She just didn't like find herself alone. Like how do you say? She didn't do it all by herself. She had help. So she listened. She had stories. She had people like coming up to help her regain her self confidence, find who she is. She had to find herself all over again, and to be able to build that up wasn't easy. And this is very prevalent in our society today, where people just hit that rock bottom. They just think it's over. There's no way out. How am I going to start from here? I mean, it seems like there's so much steps to climb up there. But she was able to hang on to that little hope that she had, and she was able to build it up back again. So it's kind of like a comeback story again as well. So she was able to come back, find herself, and she was able I would say she became a kick whatever. I don't want to use the word. I mean, she was so she was able to get to that point where she was able to even influence other people, motivate other people as well. A life story, and other life story was able to other people's life story was a motivational factor for her too, as well. I don't know if that's the
Wonderful. And yeah, and we can definitely relate to a lot of what you talked about, right? The idea of wanting to give up and saying, "Is this the end?" and needing to find that perseverance, the resolve, as they call it. And I know that you got the idea for this book in 2016, so it's been many years of creation. And like, what was the reason for this? Is it like for like self expression, or like what something must have kept you going from the idea phase to the writing and the editing and the publishing. So like what was your motivation and discipline for this?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for that. So when I always tell people, I started from the journals, keeping journals, and then I started from there when I was very young, and then I started building stories. And when I had this storyline, when I had the title first, I had a series of little hope. Just thought that I might be able to build on this one because I kind of really like these stories. So I kind of started piecing the stories together, and then and for me, the motivation for doing that was the fact that I had a passion for writing. I had a passion for storytelling, and also I felt that so many people needed to hear a story that was going to motivate people. Wasn't just going to write for writing's sake, even though I have the passion, but I also wanted to have a connection, be able to connect with the readers, connect with the audience, look at the world per se. My personal life was a motivation for this story. as well as looking at other people, what's going on in this world, what's this thing that's aching people's hearts, as you have heartbreaks here and there, and people can just so many things are going on that people are not addressing. And I just thought that I should be able to address all of this in my story, be able to pinpoint these areas that people should really find a motivational tag line on, and be able to have that kickback that they need to be able to thrive, uh, to be able to have that resolve, just like you said, to be able to and not just having the resolve or having the motivation. I needed also to spice up my story as well. Have some intriguing parts of the story, which is a little bit of romance, which makes my book a little, which was why I would say you have to be mature, maybe up to 13 to read it, because there are some areas that are a little adult part of the book. Well, but that was the focus I had, and then I also wanted to give it the Christian kick as well, because I have a Christian background, and I just having the Christian background, it just wasn't enough to write a book that was all Christian book. But I wasn't going to preaching any Bible verses or anything, but it was part of the storyline I was talking about. I would talk about God, but I also wanted to be spicy, or someone who wants to read a romance novel to pick it up and say, "Oh, this is kind of very different from the usual Christian kind of novel." For other people who are not Christians to be able to pick up my book as well and read the book and say, I really enjoyed this book. It's a Christian book, but also doesn't feel like a Christian book because it's spicy, also is intriguing, talks about love, talks about, it's very vivid, it's very romantic. So that's kind of a storyline I wanted to create for my audience. I mean, for the readers as well. And I want to believe that I succeeded in doing that. With regards to the editing process, um, do I have to talk about that as well? I don't know. Well, with regards to the editing
We can.
process, okay, sorry.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's this is wonderful. This is perfectly fine. It's your show, and so you say you wanted to help people and you wanted to deliver this Christian message, but it's not just for the very dedicated Christians. It's for someone else who might be outside of that. And I'm curious about like your own struggles, difficulties, right? Because like creative writing, it's great for everyone, right? It's like if someone has their own personal problems, they can kind of take a break and get the lessons, but a story is a more entertaining way to get it without like an instruction manual. But it's also from your side, I'm sure, a way to express yourself. So I'm curious about like your own personal obstacles, difficulties, struggles, hardships. I mean, tell me about what you have been struggling with.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've struggled with quite a number of things, personal life, relationships as well. Um, which sometimes is really not something I want to delve into, but yes, I've had my own bit of struggles here and there. Like when I came into this country, I was in a relationship as well, and it kind of didn't go as I thought it would. And then I had to find my feet. I had to find my own. I already found my. I can say that found my bear, and I would say that, but I already had my goal, my life, my aspiration, where I was going. I went to school. I was in the legal profession. I still am, but writing, like I said, has always been something that I enjoyed. So it wasn't just about my story per se, because I didn't want to write anything about my struggles or anything like that. If I had to do that, then I would have to write a memoir to talk about my story, my entire story, and all of that. But I just didn't think it was the right time to do that. But it definitely, none of the stories that the storyline that created for Prue wasn't really about me. It wasn't just about life in general. What can I write about life in general that people go through? Of course, my situation was um, I've been through abuse myself, so that's kind of something that I relate to, and I also feel that some other people would relate to that as well, that aspect. But there are so many other things that people go through, like false imprisonment, for example, We talk about children being taken from their parents. We talk about marriage, lack of communication, distrust. People can really communicate within a relationship to get to that point where they will have an understanding. So people come off from various misunderstanding. And the first thing that will kill any relation, whether it's platonic or just a romantic relationship, is lack of communication and having that understanding. Clear communication is very important. So all these uh, were things I wanted to create in a relationship, and being able to understand who you're dating. It's not just oh, I want to date someone, and then at the end of the day, you don't even know much about the person, or you haven't given yourself time to grow out of your situation and come to that result to say this is what I want to do. But people just go into relationship and then they come out of it, they rush out of it again because they're not using their head, they're using their minds, which is a little shallow. Um, so these are things I really wanted to bring out. Just some people feel infatuated. They just have that little nudge in their spirit. "Oh, I love this person," but you don't really know if you love this person. What makes you love the person? What about the person that's so great? Everybody thinks it's material. Everybody thinks it's monetary. Everybody thinks someone that takes you out. That's their love. No, that's not. That's not it. It's more than that. It's not understanding the person and the person understanding you, because you're not perfect people. You have to accept each other's flaws, and be able to grow from there and give allowances to the other person. So I think that was uh, a foundation that I thought that Prue was able to build on the second time, and with a second chance that she might have. Well, with her first relationship, she just knew he just wanted a relationship, and he was desperate and she was desperate. So two desperate people coming from desperate from desperate point of view, just had that click that just went bam like a bang. So so that's the way I want to see it, and felt that I should incorporate that into my book as well for people going into relationship, and then more on the spiritual side as well. Like I talked about being light of God and stuff like that. That's a gift that I think resonates with a lot of people. So I'm not just saying I'm a light of God because I really think that I am, because to be gifted is not something you have to just say by mouth, and something that you have to actually live. So that's the way I see that as well.
Very nice. So you're bringing to light these things that we struggle with, right? When you have a relationship, sometimes the expectations are too high, or you fill in the gaps, or you put your own projections on what you wish the person would be, and sometimes you're let down, and you wonder why the heck am I putting myself through this again and again? And people struggle with their spirituality, right? And they say, well, what does it all mean? And there's a very helpful quote I think from you that says, whatever we do, one thing should always stand out: us. Be ourselves no matter what.
Yeah.
Give and contribute as one is able to, and who we are, whether flawed, imperfect, or not.
Hmm.
No one should be your standard, just you, because that's what makes you special and indisputably you. And that's
Yeah.
kind of it sometimes takes a lifetime to deal with that, right? That you can't fix anyone else and no one else can fix you. And that's both good and bad. And so we've been speaking so far with Mercylyn Odibo, author of X-Rays of Little Hopes. And in our last few minutes here, Mercylyn, we've been discussing about your book, your ideas, but it's now your turn where it's time for you to come up with the question. So in this conversation that we're having about relationships, this book, spirituality, etc., what's the missing question? What should I be asking you? I just don't know to ask you.
Oh, well, I think that you asked me most of the things that I needed to ask. Um, I think that maybe what I wanted the reader to get from that was something that you didn't ask me, but I think it was covered all through the book. Like me saying that I wanted to motivate people, wanted to be um, the light for people, and also for people to feel inspired, because everybody think there's a specific way of doing things, but there's actually not. Everybody just have to do what they can, because there's no right and wrong way of doing anything to arrive at a conclusion, even in a relationship. Everybody's just who they are, and just try to uh, go be who they are in any situation, any given situation, and just try to contribute as much as you can, just like you said. So many people just want to do it the way someone else did it. They are not the same persons. Your how do you say your aura, and that person's ideas and life destiny, they are not the same. They're two different things. So you have to go with how you're led, what you feel, and not what someone is saying or someone's making you do things like I have a couple points that I wrote. One of them is weight loss. And that's a thing that's aching the society. For example, people want to do things because of what the societal standard is, but it's really not what yardstick anybody should take to look into doing anything they want to be. So the best, beautiful thing anybody can do for themselves is being who they are, regardless of anything. Just be respectful. Just have confidence, love yourself as much as you can, and do the best that you can. That's what I feel in any situation, regardless of what anybody's going
Yeah.
to do. And there's always a yes. For every time people have a no, there's always a yes. There's always a no, there's always a yes. And not giving up is a key, not giving up.
I like it. Don't give up. There's always a no. There's always a yes. Be you. Do the best you can.
Mhm.
Have honesty, integrity, and all those other wonderful things.
Yeah.
And so, what is in the future for you? Like, we all have goals, aspirations. Sometimes an author says, I want to make a sequel, a book series, or achieve something else in life. So,
Mhm.
a year or two in the future, what are you aspiring to?
Yes, I'm so glad you asked me that. I'm actually considering a sequel to this book. I'm actually I already have the ideas mapped out. Might not be as voluminous as this, but this storyline is really intriguing to me. It's really I'm really excited about the sequel. I'm working on it already, but not on paper, but in my head. In my head, and I'm just mapping out the bit by bit, just putting them in scattered places. So that's that. I have poems that I've also written. I started writing these poems as well. All most of my work, like 2016 upwards up till now. So I've been writing these poems that I feel that is gonna really be impactful. So I call it extras of lit. I'm sorry, my little collectives. I apologize for that. My little collective. So it's an area of a lot of poems. So from these, I'll be taking poems to create poem books, and it's gonna be like in series, like maybe book one or book two. But it's not gonna be the same heading at every time. It's gonna be they're gonna have different headings at every time. But these are things I've already written and it's all done. So I kind of did a lot of writing, just and I've also written some fiction books as well that's already completed. So I'm really excited and looking forward to bringing this into fruition, into life in the future. But I just don't know when exactly. Can see that this is when. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know when, but you know that this destiny is inevitable, right? You have a plan, you have your momentum, you say, I'm putting out a book and I'll put out more, right? I'll continue with my writing, fiction and nonfiction. And so we've been speaking with Mercylyn Odibo, author of X-Rays of Little
Okay.
Hopes, where love, faith, and imperfection meet. What's up?
Oh, I was gonna say I am a fiction writer and a
Oh,
poem. I don't write nonfiction, so it's gonna be fiction.
okay, okay. Okay, so just fiction, but with these inspiring messages. And this book, X-Rays of Little Hopes, it dares to go beyond the boundaries of typical Christian fiction. It embraces real lives, real struggles, and real grace because no one is perfect except God. So if someone says, "Oh my gosh, I have to get this book yesterday. I need to get my hands on it," where should someone go to start reading?
Oh yes, so Amazon. They can go to Amazon .com. And there's I don't have all of the websites. I was given a couple websites. There's Barnes and Noble, but I know Amazon is number one. Barnes and Nobles is another one, and so many other websites that I'm hoping that I'll get from the publishers as well. But I'm also on Amazon. I'm sure they can find like a sample reading up to, I believe, up to the first chapter or two, just to see get an
Okay.
insight of what the story is about. And other than that, uh, the book is supposed to be available where books are sold, like all over globally. I believe so. And also
Yeah.
I'm on Goodreads. I'm on Goodreads as well. Goodreads.com. I don't know. So my name is still the same, Mercylyn B. Odibo. On Facebook page is Mercylyn B. Odibo writer. Oh, but you couldn't find it. So I'm gonna try to go into and try to do my settings again. Make sure it's public. Supposed to be public. So.
Okay.
And that's
Okay, great. So you're saying, so that's Mercylyn B. Odibo
right.
on, you say, Goodreads and on Amazon and on Facebook.
Yes, Facebook, Mercylyn Odibo writer, and then for Instagram, I don't go by my book. I just go by some other names that I have. And then there's the website that you have as well, mercylynodibo.com. So there's that as well.
Yes. So that, yeah, so that website is mercylynbodibo.com. We'll have a link to that.
It's,
And then the Facebook page is facebook.com. Oh,
it's Odibo.
Odibo. And then the Facebook page is Mercylyn Odibo Books. But we really want you to go to Amazon and search X-Rays of Little Hopes. As she said, you can click on the sample button and see what you're in for. And it's a great read. It's a great book. It'll make you think. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you go on a different trajectory of life. So X-Rays of Little Hopes. Find out on Amazon by Mercylyn B. Odibo. Before I let you go, Mercylyn, it's time for the scary part of the podcast where I try to stump you. I try to put you on the spot
Okay.
by asking about a helpful quote or lesson that has served you. So what comes to mind as far as a fun quote or lesson?
I didn't hear that question. Sorry. Can you say that again?
Quote or lesson.
What's a lesson?
A quote or lesson that has served you.
Oh, you want me to say it? Do you
Yes,
want me to
if you
quote
have
it?
one that you think,
Oh yeah. Oh, so
if you have a
the
quote.
quote that I
Yeah,
have is the one that you already said. Be yourself all the time. Don't let anybody tell you who you are. So many people try to tell people to find people, but don't be defined by anybody's standard. Be just who you are at any time, and just live your life, love yourself, and keep going with life. I mean, things always turn around for anybody. God always open the doors for people, no matter what. He does answer prayer. He does answer prayers. So that's what I want to leave people.
I like
Mhm. Just be yourself.
live
Don't
your
let anybody
live your
define,
life, love yourself, keep going.
yeah, and don't let anybody define who you are because people talk a lot. People have to listen to what people are saying. You just miss your steps because a lot of people listen a lot to what people are saying and then they get frigid and they start getting agitated or worried. So there's no amount of worry that's going to change any situation. There's no amount of and prayer is very important too. I always tell people pray every day. So that's my number one key: pray every day. No matter how it looks like, it always turns around. No matter how bad it seems, good will always come out of something bad.
Yes. Pray, look for the good, look towards the future, and we especially want you to get the book X-Rays of Little Hopes by Mercylyn B. Odibo. It's been wonderful speaking with you, Mercylyn. Inspiring and exciting. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.